Welcome, everybody. I'm Yogi Chris, captain of IMC Nation here at Eden House, IMC Base One in Las Vegas. Ah, building a lifestyle of players that every man on earth desires, wishes he could have. First, you need a team. If you don't have a team, you're only going to go so far in the game. Then you need a mentor or a coach because if it's just a group of monkeys trying to get better and evolve themselves, there's going to be infighting. You're not going to know where to go. You're going to have to find outside resources. Then you're going to have a lot of wherewithal and a lot of a deep, deep why as to why do you want to get good at game? Because what AZD teaches is way, way, way beyond game. It's Jedi mastery. It's the pull and push of the Force. It's the transcendental conversation that takes a person out of their drama, out of their just minutia of the day, especially a woman. But you need to be able to finesse it in all situations. It's mastery of communication at all levels to all people, and nothing less than that is going to get you to 10. I was watching a bunch of multimillionaires and some billionaires, and they'll have women. It's like this guy that interviews these people, and there's when they talk about family and they talk about women and they talk about relationships, you can see how confined they are. Sure, they've channeled their energy productively into like capitalistic ventures and whatever, but there's a weakness there that I know because AZD's taught and I've seen it demonstrated and I've experienced it by getting the teachings, going out and working it until I get better to the level that I see the interactions that are portraying exactly his conclusions that he's delivering. And then he'll have further reaching conclusions and further, because he's got seven girlfriends, he's been in it for a long time. His conclusions about female nature and energy dynamics and communication is really far ahead. And so sometimes it's kind of difficult to process or difficult to understand. But as you accrue experience, they fit. His ideas fit and really progress you forward. Sometimes they'll fit in such a way that you leap so far forward, you're like, holy fuck, I'm glad I paid attention to that one time. Or you'll be in it and in the class, and one or two things will be said that just, and after years, I tell you, it's mental mastery. Where's the actual Rashdi Bazaar? His account is in the bio. So you can go see his personal account in the bio. And then he lives down the street, about 10 minutes. So I'll see him tomorrow morning. Where are you? Where is the actual Ehig underscore? That's a good question. Guys, this is conversational, so if you want to jump on, just request to join. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so what does it take? Because a lot of guys are going to end up without relationships, just in the long haul. No relationship, nothing real. You might end up with a girl that you're banging and she's going to ruin you. And like I said, end up. You won't end up with a relationship. She'll leave you, or you'll just be so destroyed, you will bitterly resent your relationship to the point where you want to lie that you don't even have a relationship. You'll cheat on her. You'll go buy a prostitute or something. You will. It's a sad condition that I see the world over as I communicate with hundreds and thousands of guys over years studying the science of it and then meeting the other best dating coaches in the field and seeing how weak their information that they're spreading from the top down. They're infecting a lot of guys, quote, students with their wrong thinking that's going to end up with whatever level of short-term shortcomings. It has shortcomings. Obviously, there's some success in what coaches teach, or they would just go out of business. But by selling through a great marketing procedure and understanding that most guys are at a level that they won't even, man, I don't even know if they understand it. But the fact is, AZD is so far ahead in relationship dynamics, being able to hold seven, eight, nine top girls for many, many years in a perfect harmony. True, there's growth, there's a conflict here or there, but it's, man, and that's a lot of it is seeing how he goes through the conflict. That's what he reports in class and whatever. He's very open about a lot. A lot. I'm sure he, hides a lot, whatever, because it's a personal relationship. But how he it's like it's his business, bro. So like that's what he does. One of the more difficult things about being around so close in proximity is learning how to talk about your relationship or how to talk about what you did with a girl. Because guys have practically no experience talking about what happened or whatever. And it's not that it has to be good or bad of what happened. It's just reporting what happened so that you can mastermind about it because it's amazing. Your life is on autopilot. You're living subconsciously. Most of what you do, your decisions, daily habits, all that stuff, you're not conscious of. You're just habitually doing it. Every now and then it comes to conscious awareness what you're doing. You may change it, you may not. But most of it is just coasting. And why was I saying that? Yeah, I forgot why I was saying that. Anyway, being part of a team that you can dialogue and develop your language and your ability to express. Like if you've ever done writing or free writing or even just written a report in school or something, like you may have hated it, but is there any denying that the second draft was better than the first draft or the third draft is better than the second draft? Like it gets better as you repeat. And the game is difficult, man. I want to know where guys are at. You guys got a dialogue. What's up with you all? It's hard to get you guys to want to communicate, huh? Probably because I just like lecture at you guys. Well, this is what needs to happen. Somebody needs to, because you got to get a context of what I'm saying. You'll see it in the dialogue. So somebody, I don't know if anybody's over here. Got a couple channels. People viewing on all the channels, but I mean, you don't have to, but it would be good. You would get a lot, but that's the thing. It takes a lot of courage to communicate. Try to go live on your own account. Maybe you can't because you don't have like 1,000 people on TikTok or something, but go live and talk. And it's difficult to communicate. So asking somebody out there in internet space to like turn on your camera or whatever, like request to go live. I get that that's not like common or easy for you. But if you follow these accounts and you're seeing this guy AZD with all these face tattoos, just spitting wisdom, like it's hard to look away. And then as you listen, it's man, it makes sense. That's why you guys follow these accounts, I know. Then understand that you are resonating with a very deep and profound expression that works wonders at the highest levels with females. It's not that he's necessarily just teaching game, it's that his demeanor, attitude, and his look and how he looks like clothing, but also tattoos, everything, jewelry, was so tuned to getting beautiful women. And he was already a spiritual guy. And as he went through the process of years and years and years of multiple relationships, many relationships, teaching guys, and ultimately a bunch of students living with him for years. And so it's just such a it's beyond an experiment. It's a biodome, if you know what the biodome is. It's like a laboratory, really, a team. That the understandings became way more, just way beyond game. It was already that. AZD was way out of everybody else's league. It's all in a state of mind and the seductive instinct and just multiple relationships. The success of that puts AZD as a coach in game way beyond almost all guys. There's maybe a couple guys. I see a couple guys that have multiple relationships, but it's just not on the order. It doesn't have the depth of integrity and connection. And, that would sound sappy and gay if it wasn't that there were so many girls and able to be replaced also because there's many more girls that are just not girlfriends. There's lines in multiple directions. So until I see otherwise, it's the greatest player on earth. And anyway, I keep going on my dialogue because you guys, nobody wants to. I know if you're on YouTube, you can't necessarily go live, but that's why you should join the Instagram account or whatever so you could be live. Or join the Telegram group so you could be on Zoom, right? So where do we go with all this? What it takes. It starts with taking seriously the dating game for yourself. Like I'll be going out tonight, even though I'm tired and there's all kinds of business things to do. Everybody likes to use that as an excuse. Now, yesterday I stayed in for business reasons and I made the most of it. I really went at it. And tonight, I'll still burn the midnight oil for business, but gotta go out. It's the days in between going out with AZD because things gotta, when you go out with AZD, that's why coming to Vegas is so valuable. You see a reference of a guy, it's just so out of reality for other individuals. You've just never seen or been close to a guy who really, really, really gets women. Like really gets women. And it's legitimate. Like you see the reality of like the physics of it. It's not there's not drugs or money or a lot of alcohol or fame, celebrity, like somehow somebody's going to get discovered if they're next to this guy. That's not what it is. It's just game, which is body language, rhythm, presence, and to maintain all of those things in communication, you got to have a skill of communication, but to maintain presence around so many beautiful women, there's something inside, there's an inner frame of mind or inner perspective. Like you have a self-image, kind of like that. Where are you coming from? Because if you're just learning tricks and mindsets and tips and things like that, it's a beingness that's deeper. That's what AZD calls character. Your character is what gets the girls. So you'll see a real demonstration of character magnetizing and pulling women and keeping them in orbit. And as you inspect AZD's life, that's what he does in his relationships. He has long, long-term relationships, longer than anybody has relationships. People are married for longer, but goddamn are those terrible relationships. Have you ever seen a happy marriage after 19 years? The closest you'll get is a guy and a girl that, keep a lot of distance with each other. And who knows what that guy's off doing? He has a lot of desires. How long is a guy gonna work day and night for before he just wants some more pussy? Yeah, he wants. So I believe after communicating with so many and being part of a deep inner circle of people that have high level disclosure, they're really transparent and talking about themselves because they really want to change and grow. That's why if you were able to go live, then you would change and grow a lot more. I am a messenger of AZD and IMC Nation. I am a catalyst for your growth and change. And it's just in the dialogue. I'm not here to teach you. I'm here to talk with you. That's it. So if you're on, just request to go live or whatever. I think I have requested most of the people on. Okay. So wrapping it up, knowing that you want to get this thing worked out. You have to have a life that's attractive. You have to have a character that's attractive, personality. And if you have those things, then you probably have friends. So, you can kind of hack it by having friends, but you don't really have the personality or life, or you could have the personality and the life, but no friends, but she may never find out, or she'll find out eventually. Like you gotta have the friends, you gotta have the lifestyle, and you gotta have the character. If you had the character, you would think eventually you'll have the lifestyle and the friends, but if you don't, how long are you gonna wait? You might not have the character that you think you do if you don't have the friends. Maybe it's because you don't have the lifestyle to get the friends. So put the light. Now, if you don't want to, then it's like, well, what are you going to do with women, bro? Because she needs them all. She needs to know that you lead, that you have a team or a tribe of some sort, that you have a lifestyle that she can fit into because she's ultimately going to be part of it day and night in some way. I get text messages day and night. For the level of submissiveness that guys crave, that deeply align with, at least there's a deep radar in the guy that fits with a woman who is looking up to you and submissive to you and looks to you for guidance and protection, fun and joy, stimulation and growth. Like you be all these things for her, and if you're just a little bit and there's other options that are much more for her, you have to be the best option in all the ways. And that takes a lot of work. And you probably have the value. A lot of guys have the value in your life experience. You just don't know how to talk about it because you have the wrong frames of mind about your history. There's a way to express yourself that's beautiful. Even if all you ever did was just like play with dirt and grass in the backyard, if you knew how to talk about it in the most interesting way with the best, highest self esteem that you're super confident, which you could be. If you were so obsessed with it, a kid that was so upset would be super confident to share. Now he needs the skill of how to communicate, and you need the look. You know how to communicate. Part of your communication is how you look, how you groom, whatever. That's a communication. If you have bad odor or good odor, that's communication. So I think anybody could do it if you just knew how to communicate. And at the end of the day, to know how to communicate for a long time, you got to have character. Otherwise, it's just tricks, little communication hacks to influence people. That won't get very far. And that's one of the main failings of the pickup artist, and especially the more like seduction, mind control, language pattern influence people like the Ross Jeffries and Vince Kelvins, and even the Hypnoticas and anybody that goes that route. There's a guy that's going to debate AZD tomorrow on like some show that's he's just so stupid and he's really insane actually because the way he roller coasters of it's a rare thing how somebody can go so high and so low and so high and so low, and their language is so volatile. And a lot of guys out there are dealing with it. That's probably why you don't communicate. Like it's a lot of guys actually. It's really bad condition on Earth. I just don't think it like I would end up yelling at the camera if I was on that vein the whole time. But I know you guys are in a really bad condition with women. Even the guys that have like are around women have some social life, you feel so alone and lost because you don't know where you're going. The best you got is your business, and those are the guys that are doing something because they have something creative that they're in a way selling or an entrepreneur for, like music or art or something, and they're really going for it. So they have some the creative juices flowing, but they're just around so many weak ideas. And like I said about the billionaires, they have a lot of strength. Like a lot of them, they spoke strong, spoke clear, slow. They knew what they were talking about. They didn't talk about what they didn't know about. And they held themselves, even if they had weird postures, but they held themselves like they were there. And it was cool to see. But man, I can tell the women will take advantage of them. They don't have strength of mind around that subject. So you can develop yourself so much in all the other areas. You get the greatest body, build your business forever and ever and ever, and whatever else you could do. And it's still not going to handle the dynamic with women, how you feel about it. How, to be dominant is very different than being submissive. It's a different energy feeling. And there is a lot of muddying going on. So you may be dominant somewhere, but submissive somewhere else because you're unaware. And then you're going to lose the girl there. You're going to lose your character there. She's going to talk down to you in a way that you catch on to one day, and then you have a fight, and then you just don't have emotional control. You don't have the skill to resolve conflict. And so you can't hold on to a girl for more than what, like 3 months, 6 months? How many of you guys out there that are watching right now have a girlfriend? And if you do, how long have you guys been together? And if you're calling her your girlfriend that you've been together that long, is she exclusively with you and with nobody else sexually? You may have different boundaries about she can have friends or whatever, but is she sexually exclusive to you? And if you guys answered those questions, that I have some bearing where to go with it, because a lot of you can also come live, and there's a bunch of you just joined, but the dialogue will be so much more fruitful for you, guaranteed, guaranteed. Okay, so waiting for all those thousands of hundreds of comments to come in. We got 38 new emails. What's up? John Anthony has over 2,000 lay count. Do you think it's real? How important is black pill in PUA? I don't know what a black pill is, so if you could explain that, Usman Malik. Where are you from, Usman? And then, you know, there's a lot of shortcuts. For example, let's do it numbers. You seem like a numbers guy, so I'm gonna number nerd you guys right now, real quick. I'm gonna do basic math. Let's say, for example, if you could stretch your mind a little bit, let's say you had four girlfriends or whatever, multiple girlfriends. They were yours for 15 years. Let's do easy numbers, 10 years. Five girlfriends for 10 years. That's like AZD's average, let's say, AZD average. It's not, it's even more than that, but I'm like doing easy numbers. Five for 10 years, okay? We don't really talk about other guys having sex with their girlfriends or whatever, but has sex at least once a day. I mean, he'll joke about it in class, like he needs this pill or something because, 2, 3 times, like it happens, right? So let's just say one a day. Let's use a easy number, 500 a year. Not unreasonable, bros. I lived with him for 4.5 years, so you even hear it. And then I've been in class with him for like 8 or 9 years. You hear about it, like, and then do the math with all the girlfriends, like that's what it is. Okay? They're not all hotties. I see John Anthony's women, so I mean, it's just a different standard, I guess. It might be hottie if you're like, a hairy guy in the foothills, but I live in Las Vegas, so he lives in Miami, whatever. But if you don't live in those areas, you're not exposed to extreme beauty a lot, then they may seem, like hotties. I mean, they're all right. So you have sex. Let's say you have, yeah, but okay, but think about it. So how long are you with those girls? If you're with those girls once, so you may have a lay count of 2,000 one time. Your lay count of 2,000, but like, let's say some of them were one, let's say 1,000 were one, 500 of them were two. Uh, you know, 300 of them were like three. 100 of them you get like 10. You're with them for like a month or two or three. And then I just gotta wonder because if I just did the math, that would leave 100. I wonder how many girlfriends he's had. I don't know if it's real or not, but I know when I measure the character and the communication that comes from the guy, there's a lot of just softness. He's just soft. He could even be buff and working out and shooting up testosterone, but there's a softness of character that seems touchy and emotional. I think that's why he hates on a lot of coaches. I hate on a lot of coaches, but I'm an understudy of AZD. I'm the student, and I'm talking shit about everybody. I want everybody to come out of the woodworks because I think I could beat most of the dating coaches, and I'm willing and up for the challenge. And I'm just a student. He has one wife. I've seen his receipts. I don't know what you need to see receipts for. Receipts for what? He's in Brazil. Who's in Brazil? John Anthony? Why would you go to Brazil? See, that's the lay count, bro. I mean, if I go to Thailand or Brazil or Colombia, I mean, honestly, if I just didn't even live in Vegas, Vegas is the hardest city in the world to game locals. You can get tourists, but tourists is just like, man, where are you developing yourself as a man? It's such a waste. I can't imagine multimillionaires and billionaires hitting up on tourists. They want local bitches that could join their life. You might be like, well, they could fly them in. Yeah, they can. He has a Discord channel, John Anthony, and yes, he's in Brazil. Yeah. Receipts for what though? I don't get what you mean he has one wife and seen receipts. Did he buy his wife or something? So yeah, if you're in a second world or a third world country, it's just you can't even be on the same playing board. Like I was a wrestler, Division One, college, University of Oklahoma for 4 years. Do you think Geo Maz? I don't know who that is. Geo isn't a good idea though. I don't know if you have a typo. What's Geo Mazgzing? Okay, so you could be a Division Three national champion, and you won't even make it to the national tournament in Division One. You could be a Division Two national champion, and you won't even place in Division One. You could be the Special Olympics world champion, and you wouldn't even make it on the team anywhere. You could be the transplant world champion. If you're in a different league, you're in a different league. You could be the minor league baseball champion, but you wouldn't even win a game in the majors. It's just a different level. If you go to Brazil, do you know how Brazilians are, bro? Like they are the loosest monkeys on earth. Among the loosest fucking monkeys on earth. White monkeys here in America are the most uptight monkeys, unless they're liberal fucking shaved head purple. And then you got to deal with hairy armpits and smells and weird fucking philosophies. And she's probably fucking everybody else, including guys and girls. So those are the only loose, or she's like I'm not talking about like prostitutes or whatever, but white girls are not loose here. They're super uptight. Go to Brazil, go to Cuba, go to Colombia, go to Thailand, go to Costa Rica, go anywhere touristy. His wife is a 9.5 though. All right. But you're not living in America. So I don't know what you're talking about. AZ's got 7 wives, and many of them are 10.0s. So if you're comparing, it's just the gap difference between having 10 for USA for sure. Nah. There's nobody abroad that is higher ranking. The US women are the hottest women on earth. So sounds like you should go learn from him though, because you want a foreign wife that lets you bang a bunch of hood rats. So you should go learn from him. But this is the path of power, not the path of run away from America because you want pussy so bad. Anybody born in America that left America is a complete idiot, probably liberal, which is definitely retarded, like mentally retarded, or so possessed of lust demons that he had to go to an easier place to game because he couldn't win the game in America. So let me go to a foreign market that's much cheaper and easier. Go study from that guy. That's who you should study from. Yeah, that's my opinion of him. But I'm just saying, I tell you what, if you got a link to the number one thing you would want me to see of his, because I haven't watched him in years, but when I see a clip, it's like scratching nails on chalkboard. The guy's so annoying. I really can't believe that girls like him. And anyway, uh, unless it's the money, because if you're in Brazil and you got white boy money, then I mean, come on. Occam's razor was good. I don't know how you're applying that here, but if you got one thing you want me to see before the stream ends in the next couple minutes, just comment it. I'll see the link. I'll open it. I'll check it out. Okay. Sup, Dark Angel? Bro, I felt so bad for the dudes thinking they could bag women in Thailand. Why is that? I want to know. Are you from Thailand? Why don't you come live? I want to hear your opinion on it. We almost moved to Thailand. I think the world's biggest strip club is there, or second biggest, or something. Because the biggest one is here in Vegas. But we got nice tens here. All kinds of Western women that are nice and beautiful. Okay, everybody. We're going to wrap it up in a minute unless my brother here on Instagram wants to join. Link to what? Just something you want me to see of his so I get a better I'm always interested in seeing who the best or most successful is. And there's a lot of guys with a lot of followers who sell shortcut hacks to getting sex, but there's no way that they can give fulfilling relationships. Like, why would a man get married? I don't understand why a man would get married. Doesn't make sense to me. Not all Brazilians are hot, but some are. Just like some, I don't know, Ethiopians are hot. Some Chinese girls are hot. But if that's your thing, I don't know, maybe you're Brazilian or something. But yeah, if you want to post, otherwise, that's what I think about him. I think he's a cheese ball, and he couldn't cut it in the Division One, so he had to go to Division Two or Division Three to try to be a national champion or something. All right. Okay, so Aaron, you don't want to come on? Give it a second. Appreciate y'all's participation. All right, we'll wrap it up here. Go to imcbase1.com. If you join the newsletter, there's 38 new audios coming to every email you get has a short, what are called a quantum leap. AZD uses artificial intelligence to design some incredible stories that transfer the game, perspectives of the game, what it looks like when you're the apex player on Earth. What are the energies flowing around you? What does women look like? What's the jungle of life look like? It's very powerful, and you just play them from your email. So we're adding 38. There's already like 56 of them or something, and plus some other content. So join that. It's free. And then, find me on Instagram, IMCBase1, AZD IMC Nation. You can see AZD's personal profiles in the bios. So you go check it out. Girlfriends are real. That's how the top player on Earth posts. You can learn a lot of game just by watching how he posts. And I'll see you guys on the next stream. Be the best. Fuck the rest. IMC Nation. IMCBase1.com, everybody.